is much easier to ask for an introduction for somebody else than it is for yourself. Because if you're doing it for yourself, it sounds selfish. It sounds salesy. But if you're asking to do a referral for somebody else, it sounds like you are the nicest person in the world because you were trying to help somebody. I've been asked this week to talk about why being specific within BNI is important. For those who've never been to a BNI meeting before, you're going to get the opportunity in a moment to stand up and deliver a 60-second presentation on what it is that you do within your business and what you were looking for, the introductions that you were looking for. And within BNI, we do teach people that it is important to be specific. If you have a specific company or a specific name that you would like an introduction to, it is more likely that you are going to get that introduction. We have many examples over the years in BNI of that happening. Paul Murray, who's not here today, has often told the story of how somebody stood up in a BNI meeting and asked for an introduction to Paul O'Grady, before he died, to Paul O'Grady because they wanted him to be a patron of their animal charity. And I believe Paul lived next door to Paul O'Grady's sister. So just happened to be talking to them over the fence and managed to get that introduction. If they hadn't specifically asked for the name, they wouldn't have got the introduction. Now, I've given examples before in education slots of how you can be specific using ChatGPT to come up with a specific name. We don't need to go over that again. I know there are some people that do not want to be specific, and you don't have to be every week. I myself am not going to be this week. It's not a problem. But I want to help those people that are specific. Those people that do have a specific name today, when they ask for it, they don't always get it. So what I want to do is help those people. I know you often have a specific name. So I want to help you guys that do be specific. Now, when someone stands up in a moment and asks for a specific name, if they've taken the time to work out somebody specific they want an introduction to, how many times can he say specific in the next 3 minutes? Then don't sit there with your arms folded, nodding your head going, yes, I hear that name, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Don't play on your phone. Don't type on your computer. Don't check your emails. Write that name down. If you are old school and use a pen and paper, never heard the like, write it down on that. If you use a phone to take notes, as I sometimes do, write it down on that. If you use a tablet like Richard does, write it down on that. Even if you don't know that name, write it down. Because it is a fact that if you write something down, you are more likely to remember it. It's a memory trick. Even if you never look at it again, you're more likely to remember it if you've written it down because of muscle memory. Now here's the second bit. If you write it down, do look back at it later. Go back into your office or your van or your sandcastle, wherever it is that you were going, and look at that name and think, do I know that person? Check your contact book. Check your little black book if you're Sean. Check your LinkedIn. Check your Facebook. Do you know that person? Are you connected to them? If you are, can you reach out to them and ask for the introduction that Dave Bundy has been asking for the past 7 weeks? If you are Dunders, exactly, Dunders. Dunders. If you are not connected to Dunders.
Do you guys know Dunders?
They might know Dunders. We'll find out in a moment. They might know Dunders. If you do not know Dunders, do you have a mutual connection on LinkedIn? If, like myself or Joe, you've got thousands and thousands of connections on LinkedIn, I'm sure there's other people here that have that, chances are you will have mutual connections that know Dunders. How well do you know that mutual connection? Can you reach out to them and ask for an introduction? Because it is much easier to ask for an introduction for somebody else than it is for yourself. Because if you're doing it for yourself, it sounds selfish. It sounds salesy. But if you're asking to do a referral for somebody else, it sounds like you are the nicest person in the world because you were trying to help somebody. So when people stand up in a moment and give you a specific name, what have you got to do?
Write it down.
That's 9 of you. What have you got to do? Write it down. Write it down, check it later, see if you are connected to them. Someone's even reaching for a pen and we haven't started yet. I love this. I love this. So I don't want to see people sat there like this. I don't know him. I'm not bothering. Write it down, see if you're introduced to them, and try and make the introduction happen. Thank you very much.